Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. I don't really have a lot of preamble to do. I got 5 albums to go through, so let's go through the 5 albums. First of all, we have a band called Dead Quiet and their 4th album, appropriately titled 4, but with Roman numerals, so you know it's fancy. This is a band I'm not actually overly familiar with. In fact, this is a very new act for me. They're sort of a one-day hard rocky, stoner, doom metal, jazzy thing. And I really like this one, honestly. It did take me a while to fully get into it, but no, I'm giving this one an A. I thought this was really good stuff. I quite like the instrumentation of it. It's got a very good, slow, sort of, almost sultry burn to the guitar work, and there's some really good keyboard work. I think that's easily the standout on this entire album. There is good lyrical themes as well, which sort of have a loose concept surrounding them about religion and death, and, that's all well and good. The performances are absolutely phenomenal. The lead singer does a great job. I will put his name on screen because I don't remember what the hell he's called, but he does a really good job. I like the production as well. I love the places that this goes, that the album goes with its sound. It's got a really solid technical direction. It mixes the genres really well, so props to the production team on that. I don't know who did that either, but good stuff. I'll probably put their name on the screen as well. And structurally wise, it it took a while for it to settle with me, but once it found its groove, once I found its groove, it really fucking settled well, so I would heavily recommend this one. Not one I was really expecting to like as much as I did, but it just sat with me the more I thought about it, and then listened back to it, so it's good stuff, so go check it out. Next we have Feeble Little Horse with their second album, Girl with Fish. This is a band I actually sort of covered as part of my catch-ups for early 2023, because their last album only came out in October of last year, and this one came out, excuse me, fairly fast afterwards. I'm giving this one an A-. I quite liked a lot of it. I do think it's a good step in the right direction. It covers a lot of the topics that their last one had, mainly themes of love and abuse and so on. The instrumentation is a lot heavier, but there's a bit more melody to it as well. It's a much shorter album than, short by about 10 seconds, but still, the band do not put out really long albums, and even though it's only 8 months after the last one, if I'm counting correctly, it doesn't feel overly rushed for what it is. I actually quite like a lot of the production on it as well. I like that there's more interplay with the band members too, because it's not just lead singers who is a female. There's a male lead singer who appears on a couple of the songs. I like that they included that element, it made things a bit more interesting, a bit more fun. I guess one of the few things against it is that it is ultimately a bit too short and it feels a bit too familiar, but this is a band that is starting to find their groove a little bit more now. And I've seen a lot of really more hateful reviews for this thing. More mixed response if I'm being honest, but I quite enjoyed it, hence the A- grade. I liked, pretty much, almost everything about it. I thought the instrumentation was really good, the guitar work especially. I like the lyrical themes, they do tell good stories when they want to. A bit repetitive, but it works. The performances are really good, production's nice as well. Structurally, it's, again, a little bit too condensed, but it can get a lot out of that despite the time, so I will go for it. Next up, we have a pretty legendary band in the British metal scene. We have Godflesh and their newest album, Purge. Now, this is a band I've heard about many times throughout, since 2010, I guess I could say, but this is a band that's been around for over 40 years by this point, and I'm giving this one a B+. It's got some really solid instrumentation to it. I think the guitar work is what leads it. It's got really good drum machine work too. Oh yeah, the band don't actually have a drummer, there's only 2 members. Lead singer Justin Broadrick is a really good guitarist, and he's a good screaming. He's got a good scream to him as well. It does lack in lyrics, but from what I understand, that's always been a thing that the band do. They somehow find a way to say a lot without really saying a whole bunch, and it's mostly political and greed and corruption stuff, which I'm fine with. But I really wanted more, and I like a story, and a lot of the songs are really fucking long on this thing. It just felt very much focused on the heaviness of the riff, but I don't mind it. It was really good, focused on the heaviness of the riff. The production is really good too. I believe that was also handled by Justin. He's the singer and guitarist. I don't know if I punctuated that, but there you go. I quite like his performance and the performance of the bassist as well, who also has a name. I'm bad at names today. Structurally wise, I do wish there were more in some places, but you know what? I quite liked a lot of what I got out of it, hence the B+ grade, so it's an album that doesn't do a lot, but it does do enough. It does more than enough with what it's good at, and I don't know if this was the best album for me to start listening to Godflesh, but the last album came out 6 years ago, so I don't know. I feel like I could have done a lot worse though, and especially considering it's their style, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. I do still want more out of it, but what I got out of it, I'm happy with. Next, we go to a much newer band in British metal. We have Pupil Slicer with their second album, Blossom. So, I covered their debut album, Mirrors, when that came out back in 2021, I believe. And I enjoyed it, but there were a few kind of issues with it. But this one, they fucking learned their lesson apparently, because this one gets an A plus pretty much entirely across the fucking board. I don't know if I fully said all the band styles, by the way. I think I did for Dead Quiet and Godflesh. So the Feeble will also an indie punk, sort of noise punky sort of thing. In case I didn't do it for the other bands as well, Dead Quiet, stoner rocky to metal-y, jazzy, hard rock stuff. Godflesh, industrial metal, pretty much just that. Pupil Slicer, mathcore, grindcore, post-hardcore sort of ting. And yeah, no, this is a fucking brilliant album. The instrumentation is so goddamn well put together. I love how heavy the riffs are. The drums, especially, are phenomenal. The guitar and bass are also great too. The lyricism is unique because, unlike last time, this is a concept album about cosmic horror and what's at the end of it all. And it's a fucking. It's weirdly optimistic to read, and it's got like a good heart to the story. It's not just overly bleak, which I do appreciate. But yeah, knowing what it's about, like it's basically, it's very Cthulhu-ish in some parts, but you know, without going full Lovecraft. I love the take of it. I love the performances of the band as well, especially the lead singer. I think her name is Kate. Again, could be wrong. Again, likely going to put up on the screen, but yeah, absolutely love this trio. There's only three of them, by the way, and they're able to crank out a fucking lot from the sound, and they all bring their absolute A game. The production's great too. It was handled by, it wasn't handled by Josh Schroeder. That's the next album I'm going to talk to, and the last album for the video. I don't remember who did the production in this one, but it's really fucking good. And structurally wise, that was where I had the biggest issue with the band last time. But no, they're actually putting it much more well together and using it to tell a fantastic story. They're using it to inform the lyrics that tell the story, and this instrumentation matches it so well. It's so fucking brilliantly put together. For an eclectic and often manic style that mathcore can be, I love how much more restrained and a bit more melodic in places this one is. Yeah, no, this is absolutely phenomenal. This is a huge, huge, huge album for me. Easily top 10 material, if depending on how the rest of the year goes. And finally, we have Words That Burn with their new album, Cutthroat Culture. This one came out back in March. I kind of missed it by a few months. I remember I listened to one of the singles from it, titled You're On Your Own, and I liked this one. I'm giving this one a B, so it's the lowest grade of the episode. I think what's getting it from a B- is I like the heaviness of the instrumentation, and I think Josh Schroeder, that got his name right this time, his production saves a lot of it. I feel like some of it feels a little bit basic. It's a metalcore react with some good hard rock elements and some solid electronica elements too. It has all of those, but it doesn't really do a whole lot with them. I think that's the main problem for me with the overall sound of the album. I don't mind the performances. I think lead singer Rory McCrory, he's got an Irish name. They're an Irish band. I can't remember how to say his name. He's got some good charisma to him. He's got a really good scream. His clean singing is really nice too. I like most of the guitar work. I think the lyrics are exceptionally fucking bleak. They don't have that like underspark of hope like Pupil Slices do. They're just a bit more sad and occasionally kind of depressing and try hard. But still some decent writing here and there. And it's good to write about pain and convey the emotion correctly. It works. I don't mind the performances either. I think production's really good too. Josh Schroeder easily, he does the best with the sound. Structurally wise, I think it's a little bit too repetitive in terms of that, because again, it's mostly because it has all the stuff and doesn't do a lot with it. Hardly does anything with it. But I'm not making a strong case for it being a B, and I realise that. But I think it is saved by the production and the heaviness of it and the performances as well. It's a B that you have to take with a few grains of salt. But it is still an album I quite enjoyed, and lowest graded album being a B, it's not the worst thing. So, and that'll about do it. I will do the official ranking thing before I forget. So we have Words That Burn with Cutthroat Culture, Godflesh with Purge, Feeble Little Horse with Go With Fish, Dead Quiet with 4, and Pupil Slicer obviously with Blossom right at the fucking top. Really love that album. Again, as always, go listen to all of these at least once. Formulate your own opinions. I find that more interesting than just listening to me all day. As for what's next from me, tomorrow night, Reverence, the first pay-per-view on WWE 2K23. Looking forward to that. got the arena made the other day, so I'm well fucking ahead of schedule. I just need to set up the card. So, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And then next video thing you'll see before will likely be a Friday night this weekend. So, that'll about do it. I'll see you all tomorrow night on my Twitch stream, on my channel. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching, you're awesome.